SaaS channels, I haven't heard anything about B2C or B2B. What about the size of the client? Because private person, small business, medium, enterprise, B2B, B2C, these are different channels regarding the other end of the channel, the client.
Great question. They're all different, and they definitely are. I personally do most of my work in the B2B, and mostly in the SMB space, which I go from SMB being from 10 customers to 1,000 customers. But anybody want to answer the question? Probably. I figured so.
Yeah. Well, usually the main business is when you go to B2C, you go direct sales. You don't use usually somebody. It's all automated, full automated. Otherwise, it's not economical because you approach the masses. When you go B2B,
But the marketing can be different.
Yes, it can be different.
In
But in reality,
in Alaska and Florida, the marketing may be different.
yeah. But I'm saying most of the companies that goes B2C to the masses, they try to automate the process without channels, but they have to invest a lot on advertisement, building communities, social media, etc. When you go to B2B, then it depends on many factors. One of them is the cultural factor. Who will be willing to spend what amount and what does it expect to get from the company? For example, if he has to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, he's expecting to meet somebody, for example. But if he's paying less, $100, $50, then you can do it directly without a channel. Just create the right awareness and the right community and social media and all those channels. So it really depends what do you sell and what's the pricing model and what's your positioning versus the competition. How the competition is selling. We can learn a lot from the competition and buy an optimal channels based on the experience that our competition are having. It really depends on that.
When you were talking about the B2C, your big box stores in North America are a huge place to do it. They have e-tail sites and they have retail sites, and they, for that 1 to 10 market, like 1 to 10 seats, they probably sell 60-70% of the marketplace. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm guessing.
You were referring to Israelis not spelling right, coming in, having expectations, and I would really like to know what would support an Israeli business person who is wanting to present to the world. What are the roadblocks in his mentality and worldview and behavior that stand in the way and stop him from succeeding, or her? And what are the 3 biggest suggestions that would help an Israeli to succeed in the world market? How can the Israeli change their mindset and learn new behaviors that allow their amazing innovation to succeed in the world?
Topic for a new event.
I was just going to say that.
Say something very quickly, because and I'm going to speak here from several different hats that I wear. Okay, so first about the channel work that I do right now. Previously, I worked a lot with startups, and I did work with a unit that I was a part of here at IBM for a while. I think that from the point in here, I'm going to say specifically from the point of view of representing a multinational company that tries to work with Israeli companies and has worked successfully with Israeli companies. Part of the real issue is the ability to understand what the business looks like from the person's point of view that you're talking to, not just from your point of view. Really try to think consciously how are they perceiving what I'm asking them to do. Because if you can't at least get a conversation going where you can step out of your own specific point of view, the thing that you're selling, what you want from them, and try to imagine what maybe they're looking for from you, you don't even have a conversation.
So then how, that's an excellent point, and the next question of that is, how would you support an Israeli who is trained in the mindset of I know better, you know, in order to get ahead here?
But we do know
That
better.
You know, it's not about whether you know better or not.
Right.
It's really not. It's about, because if you know better, the question is, how are you going to be successful in convincing that other person that you
That's
know
the-
better?
yeah, so-
Because you don't have to think, I don't know better than them, and then no Israeli will ever think that. They know better than them, and that's fine. But you have to develop a skill set in helping the other person to understand why it is that you know better.
So
It's about convincing them.
Exactly. So what would you say are the top 3 skills, of those listening skills, that would help an Israeli to be able to get into the mindset of the other, that would help them to be able to show in their very creative way?
Well, your Yiddish cup shouldn't be, your Yiddish cup should not be being used on telling them how good you are, but rather telling them what you're going to do for them. And that's a really, really important, especially when you're talking to the channel, because the channel are not good business people, and they need you to be able to have a good site where you can have it and see what the channel program is all about, and how that's going to not only, on the first side, you have to show them that it's going to be good for them, but even more important to them, if you go back to what I was talking about at the very beginning about them, they want to make sure that it's going to be good for their customer. Matter of fact, they're at the point, many of them, where if you said, we can give you 90% margins, but the program's only okay, they wouldn't take it. And that's where I talked about with the great service and support. They are more interested in the good, in the best, what's going to be best for their customer than they are for what's best for them, which is why most of them aren't married and don't have kids and don't have family and don't have a lot of friends. Their friends, or what they think of friends, are their customers. You wanted to say something, I thought?
No,
And if not, I'm sure you have something.
We need a psychologist.
But I would say if an Israeli comes with a blindfold, his ears are covered, then it's a good place to start. No, but in reality, the only thing I can say is that my strong recommendation is that the hires for a marketing communication, marketing, and probably sales as well, positions should be non-Israelis or Israelis that have lived most of their lives outside of Israel. They don't have the Israeli mentality.
We'll get back.
They think differently. They behave differently. They listen. It's tough.
From my experience, I would like to provide you a few ideas. First of all, after working with thousands of young generation of early stage startups throughout Europe, one of the most, I don't agree that you should appoint somebody that is local. He will never understand you, and it's not less important. You as a developer, I think that it's much easier to learn the culture of your target market. And never offer an Italian channel to have cappuccino after breakfast. So learn it in advance and learn their business behavior and their business culture and build your offering accordingly. There are countries that are looking for a huge margin and and to give after them a huge discount, and there are others that are behaving totally different. So that's point number one. Point number two, please take into consideration that a channel or a partner, and by the way, there are no partnerships. There are people that are willing to share profit with you. That's partnership. So never ever try to be blunt. People want to make business with people they like. And they won't make business with you if they won't like you. And the last point, and not less important point, is that you have to let the other guy to understand that you're clever, but in a very clever way. Okay, so if he will understand that you've got a value, a real value for him, he will be willing to do business with you.
Hi all, I'm Alex, CEO of GE Booking. I have two practical questions. So we are a young startup where we're gonna establish our sales channels in the States and the UK, and I have had some conversation with salespeople there. So how?
What do you sell?
Okay, we are selling SaaS, software as a service. So should be a little bit easier than hardware, but anyway, how can I select?
Just say, what is your target market? Who is the customer?
My customers are small and medium enterprises, service providers like barbershops, small doctors, maybe beauty salons, like that.
What's added value?
Okay, so very good product. We provide them the widget that can be installed into practically any kind of web portals like big search engines and Yellow Pages and coupon or daily deal sites. And this product allows their customers to found their products, to increase the customer reach, and of course to get a discount. So it's kind of we increase not only customer reach but also customer conversion to real clients.
So what's your question?
How can I recognize that this same guy is a really good one, and because they provide maybe the same price, the same time they can spend on me. And the second question is what is the right incentive model? How to get incentive right for them?
You want to answer?
Well, so your customer are a small business that using your solution to convert people that are searching for his business to become physical.
Exactly.
A physical customer.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to ask yourself, how do I get to those customers first? So did you meet with those customers?
Yes, we did, but we got them, but in different regions.
In the US, where?
We met in Russia.
In Russia.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do they consume services like this? How do they get new customers in Russia?
Okay. First, I myself went to all the small barbers and big clinics, and I asked them different questions and tried to get them. And finally, I found the model that works for me to sell. Then I found some salespeople in Russia, and I'd like to expand to other geographies.
Okay, so the user is a private person, right? That looking for a barber, for example?
The final is B2B2C, okay?
Yeah, but the beginning of the process, I'm looking for a service provider like a barber. I'm as a private person.
Yeah.
I'm doing a search and I'm looking for a barber, let's say.
Yeah.
And I'm using your search engine, right?
Not mine, but of my partner.
Your partner, but I'm starting from your website or from where?
Any kind of portal in the internet.
Okay, so you should first of all ask, how do you create the awareness about your added values, okay, to those customers that need to buy from you? How do you get them to them, okay? So what are the channels in Russia that you can take advantage in order to advertise or to get to those people that will buy from you?
Okay, in Russia we established several partnerships with big giants there, like Yandex and other one. I can't explain the name.
Okay.
But so the problem was solved for this region.
Okay. So you found the right company,
Big partner, yeah.
big partner that can do the job for you.
It's a dozen of smaller partners that can do just the first part of the job. It's lead generation. Okay, I can generate the traffic of customers that are looking for a specific service.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is the question?
But what is the question?
How do you do it in the UK?
How do you do it in the UK? Well, you have to study per country which are the best channels to get to those end customers. I mean, it's maybe different in Russia. So per country, you have to go there and interview the right people, the end customers, the people in between you and the customers, and see what's the right way per country.